Hi, my name is Dr. Ilya Skolnikov, and I'm the Clinic Director at Trident Health Family Sports Care Clinic. We're going to talk a little bit about sports injuries today and how we might be able to help you. Our office is more geared up to help people with sports injuries than pretty much any other office in the northern part of the state. I'm one of 5 separate diplomates of the International Board of Applied Kinesiology, which means I have the most amount of training and skills to be able to help my patients with their different types of muscular injuries and other structural related injuries. So you might be asking yourself, well, how is it that we're able to help people with all these injuries and what makes us so special? And that's a good question. I'm glad you asked. So let's go over it. First of all, these sports injuries are not quite what they may seem to be. For example, when I was in chiropractic school, I injured myself. I was adjusting another patient who was lying on their side, and I used all the force I could, big, heavy, fat guy, and it turns out that I tore my pec major the pec major sternal muscle on the right side of my body, right here. I still have some scar tissue from it. But it's really healed up a lot, much better than it used to be. And then it just so happens that about 6 or 8 years earlier, about 5 or 6 years earlier, I tore the other pec major sternal muscle on the other side of my body. What was interesting is I'd never torn a muscle in my life. So I was starting to come to this realization that, there's got to be some relationship because it's the same muscle on each side of the body. Never tore another muscle. I just happened to tear these muscles, right? And it just so happens that we're talking about professional applied kinesiology right now. You can't really see it in this video because we don't have it set up that way, but the diploma right here that you see is for the one that I'm telling you about, the Diplomate of the International Board of Applied Kinesiology diploma. So what it turns out was that the reason I had torn the same muscle on each side of my body was because that muscle was related to a specific organ. The muscle was related to a specific organ. And that specific organ also deals with specific emotions. And that same organ that deals with specific emotions is also related to specific nutrients. And it's related to specific herbs. And it's related to specific homeopathic remedies. It's related to specific bones in the spine. It's related to specific teeth in the jaw. It's related to specific sounds. There's only 7 main notes in a scale, right? So it's related to one of those 7 sounds. And each of those 7 sounds are kind of familiar because there's a number of vitamins that are related. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Interesting, huh? So there's all these different interrelationships in the body. And as a professional applied kinesiologist, I have a great deal of understanding as to how those relationships work. And so when I learned that it was my liver that was toxic, I went through this whole liver detoxification process. And that liver detoxification process led me to be here today and allowing you to see this video. So I don't know how I can convey to you how amazed I was to understand the clear, straightforward, really crucial importance of these relationships. Now, when I have patients who come in who say have a bodybuilding problem, I can understand how to help them based upon whether they're aerobic or anaerobic. A person with is doing a lot of weightlifting, for example, often it's so stressful on their body. Don't take this the wrong way if you are a bodybuilder, but that no matter how much sleep they're getting, they may not be getting enough sleep, or they're doing so much anaerobic activity that it's breaking down sugar in their body, and joints are made out of sugar, and joints support bones with proper function, because each place where the bones articulate is where the joint is. So the joints are made of sugar, and we need sugar because the surrounding part of each of the cellular membranes are made of a lot of protein and sugar. It's called proteoglycans. And then sugar allows our brain to work properly. Anyway, so the thing that also happens is when you're breaking down sugar, you can't really decrease pain and inflammation very easily, because all your chemicals are going towards just being able to have the raw materials needed to build up all the new muscle that you're producing from all the bodybuilding, right? So there's a certain, very specific, very clear-cut way to help a person who's a bodybuilder that's different than helping a person who's, say, does a lot of basketball or plays a lot of football. Or a better example would be somebody who does a lot of long-distance running. So a long-distance runner is doing more aerobic activity. They're probably doing too much aerobic activity, whereas a person who plays basketball or does bodybuilding, they're most likely, almost definitely, doing too much anaerobic activity. So the anaerobic activity is the quick movements that get your heart rate up quickly, that often will use upper body strength, okay? So that's anaerobic, that breaks down sugar for fuel. And then the aerobic activity is when a person is doing more sustained energy, like a long, slow bike ride, or maybe long distance running at not too fast of a pace. That would be more aerobic activity. So why don't we just put it this way? I've had patients who had severe low back pain from different kinds of injuries, have their back pain almost gone in 6 or 7 visits or less. I've had people who've had just tremendous sports injuries have their injuries clear up really, really quickly in just a few visits, because we were able to get to the underlying causes of their injury and get their body to change its metabolism so that they were able to then heal from that injury. Not only that, but we were also able to prevent future injuries with our therapies. And the pain in and of itself, strange as it may sound, is an emotional experience. So the experience of pain, even if it was caused by physical trauma, like getting smacked in the face, the pain is still an emotional experience that's registered in the limbic portion of the brain. Isn't this stuff exciting? It's like you get to learn all these different things just by getting help with your health. And so, hey, if this is something that you're wanting to get help with, if you're an athlete and you're wanting to become more competitive, or you're wanting to get rid of some injuries that you've had, we can help you. There's no doubt about it. We have the training, we have the skills, we have the therapies. We have all kinds of tried and true homeopathic remedies that have been shown to dramatically decrease pain and inflammation in a way that's incredibly profound. We have herbs that help with pain and inflammation that are incredibly popular and tested and true in sports medicine. And we also have nutritional supplements that'll really, really help you to get that competitive edge and keep your hormones balanced and stable. And it's just the difference between having a really good solid workout and using something like Ligaplex 1 or Ligaplex 2, either one of which is a nutritional supplement made by a company called Standard Process, the oldest nutritional company in the United States. Using one of those types of supplements while getting your exercise versus not using one of those types of supplements can make all the difference and can give you that competitive edge that you might be looking for. So thank you so much for learning about how we can make a big, big difference for you, like we have so many other athletes. And we look forward to seeing you in the office very soon. Thank you.